Thank you, Mrs. Chiranji. I was asked by Our Kids magazine to do an interview this coming Thursday, and the topic was, what are the benefits of a boarding school education, such as CIC? Our Kids magazine is one of the foremost magazines promoting private and independent school education in the province of Ontario. And that question started me thinking. And this morning, I asked a number of grads from different parts of the world this question. I said, think 10 years from now. What will you remember most about CIC? After you finish university, you have a job and a career and a family, what will you remember most about CIC? I asked students from Albania, China and special region of Hong Kong, Indonesia, Kazakhstan, Nigeria, Russia, Singapore, and the number one answer, and grads, you can tell me by show of hands if in fact this number one answer resonates with you. The number one answer I got was the teachers. How many of you will remember teachers 10 years from now? Okay. Next were the activities that your student development office provided for you. How many will remember the activities from CIC? Quite a number. Some mentioned the sense of community, the hard work that you had to do at CIC, the friendly environment, the diversity, residence life, and Sodexo. So I thought, what you were telling me was exactly what Our Kids magazine and much of the research out there in Canada from private schools was telling us, that academic excellence and high expectations are central to success in boarding schools. Graduates, you've been surrounded by classmates. From the time you started at CIC, you were surrounded by classmates who all wanted the same thing, to get into a top university. And we see some of those top universities here today. In fact, most of the top universities are here today. This challenged each and every one of you to do your best. It's interesting that in a boarding school, it's cool to be smart. In many public schools, it's not cool to be smart. Boarding schools like CIC have an additional and invaluable asset, as Jacob Ware has postulated, and that is time. The school day starts and ends late. It has a rhythm that's quite different from that of a day school, allowing for activities which give opportunities for students to learn independence, leadership, and teamwork. Teaching and support staff see their job as educating the whole person, inside and outside the classroom. Your decision and your parents' decision to attend boarding school was the first step in what many consider a life-changing decision. By attending boarding school such as CIC, the benefits that come with it will pay off for the rest of your life. There's a large number of current leaders and successful members of society who began their journey in a private school such as CIC. Presidents, actors, athletes, successful entrepreneurs, and other politicians. What makes CIC work well is the vast number of activities, programs, and challenges available to you on a daily basis. The typical boarding school student is one who wants to embrace this huge opportunity to live in a community where academic, social, emotional, and physical growth and exploration are top priority. Where programs and activities you've told me about are abundant, where making friends is paramount, and where success and academic excellence are celebrated. Independence. This might be the greatest gift that parents can give to you, graduates. Today, when so many parents are hyper-vigilant and want to be involved in every aspect of their child's life, boarding school can be the perfect antidote. Students are required to navigate through the elements, do their own laundry, get up in the morning, and prepare for school. Parents aren't there to shield you from natural causes and effects. Boarding schools like Columbia are good places to fail and succeed, which makes them great places to learn. It's a controlled freedom. You learned or you have learned responsibility, self-awareness, and self-advocacy skills. In a 2011 survey by the Association of Boarding Schools, it was found that 31% of boarding school students surveyed said the thing they loved most about boarding school was the community atmosphere created within the school. And you told me, many of you told me that this morning. Academics are important, but when students get together after they've graduated and moved on to university and then successful careers, it's not the great history class they remember, or the great science or math or English class, but their time at Bark Lake, the residence life, or other memorable moments. It's a bond that binds graduates of different ages and cultures. Former NBA MVP and All-Star Steve Nash said that boarding school allows students to learn lessons of other cultures. For us to be exposed to that diversity gave us a need to kind of go out there and have a thirst for the world. Boarding school, such as Columbia, also offers the opportunity for you to foster intense connections with your teachers and your support staff, in part due to smaller class sizes. The outlook of teachers and support staff at Columbia regarding their position isn't that of a job, but more of a calling, where they become an important role model in each of their students' lives. In addition, fewer discipline problems in the classroom mean that teachers spend more time helping you rather than dealing with discipline issues. While the educational experience at CIC is important to your academic, social, emotional, and physical growth and development, it's also preparing you for life after CIC. Research has shown that boarding schools like CIC, students feel more prepared for university than their peers who come from the publicly funded system, and are more likely to earn more advanced degrees, like a master's or a PhD, and advance to more prominent roles in their careers and communities. The move to university, which you will experience very shortly, can be a difficult transition for many, even students born and raised in Canada who have to leave home for the first time and go to university. Being away from the support system of your family and longtime friends, and the challenges of becoming acquainted with a new place and style of learning can be a heavy burden. However, for students graduating from CIC, the change to university is less of an adjustment and less stressful because you've already been through the adjustment here at CIC. But more importantly, Maclean's magazine quotes author Martinello and co-author Finney, who find, consistent with previous research, that on average, students see a 10% drop in their grades once they are in university. Using data from Statistics Canada, or Statistics Canada's Youth in Transition Survey, the study concluded that nearly half of all students surveyed saw their marks decline by 1 letter grade. About 23% saw their grades plummet by 2 letter grades or more. Only 2.5% of students saw their grades improve, and about a quarter maintained averages consistent with high school marks, and most of those were from private schools, boarding schools like CIC. While the average private school grade entering university was 86.8%, the average first-year university grade for boarding school students like CIC students was 83.2%, much less of a drop than the 10% we see in the general population. So boarding schools like CIC, through social and academic preparation, are doing more now than ever to ensure that you, grads, are successful at university. Grads, you are not just getting into university. You will be arriving prepared to succeed, with the ability to manage your own lives. You have become strong individuals, capable of leadership and self-initiative. You have learned to manage your own affairs, how to live and deal with people from all other cultures. You've been challenged to develop interpersonal skills and intercultural skills. You have been prepared to be successful in life. Thank you and good luck.